Hi everyone, and welcome to the News Short YouTube channel. Today, we are going to be talking about electoral bonds, a financial instrument that has been the subject of much debate in recent years. Electoral bonds were introduced by the Indian government in 2017 with the aim of making political funding more transparent and accountable. However, they have also been criticized for their lack of transparency and for their potential to be used to launder money or to donate money to political parties illegally. In this episode, we are going to take a closer look at electoral bonds and discuss the pros and cons of this system. What are electoral bonds? Electoral bonds are bearer instruments that can be purchased from specified State Bank of India branches by any Indian citizen or company incorporated in India. These bonds can then be donated to any registered political party in India. The identity of the donor is not disclosed to the political party that receives the donation. Pros of electoral bonds. One of the main advantages of electoral bonds is that they increase transparency in political funding. Prior to the introduction of electoral bonds, political parties were allowed to receive donations in cash, which made it difficult to track the source of funds. Electoral bonds, on the other hand, can only be purchased from specified banks and can only be donated to registered political parties. This makes it much more difficult for individuals and companies to donate money to political parties anonymously. Another advantage of electoral bonds is that they reduce the use of black money in political funding. Black money is money that has been earned through illegal activities and has not been taxed. Black money is often used to finance political campaigns, as it is difficult to track. Electoral bonds make it more difficult to use black money to finance political campaigns, as they can only be purchased with white money. Cons of electoral bonds. One of the main criticisms of electoral bonds is that they allow donors to hide their identities. This could lead to corruption and undue influence of money power on politics. For example, a company might donate money to a political party in order to get favorable treatment from the government. Another criticism of electoral bonds is that they could be used to launder money or to donate money to political parties illegally. For example, a criminal might purchase electoral bonds with black money and then donate them to a political party. Challenges associated with electoral bonds. One of the main challenges associated with electoral bonds is that they are a relatively new system. There is still a lot of uncertainty about how they work and how they are being used. This makes it difficult to assess the full impact of electoral bonds on political funding in India. Another challenge is that electoral bonds are a complex system. There are a number of different rules and regulations that govern the purchase and use of electoral bonds. This can make it difficult for individuals and companies to comply with the rules. How to address the challenges associated with electoral bonds? There are a number of ways to address the challenges associated with electoral bonds. One way is to improve transparency. The government could require political parties to disclose the identity of all donors who donate money to them through electoral bonds. This would make it easier to track the source of funds and to identify any potential conflicts of interest. Another way to address the challenges associated with electoral bonds is to strengthen the regulatory framework. The government could introduce stricter rules and regulations to govern the purchase and use of electoral bonds. This would make it more difficult for individuals and companies to misuse electoral bonds. Podcast conclusion. Electoral bonds are a complex system with both pros and cons. It is important to weigh the benefits and drawbacks of electoral bonds carefully before making a judgment about their effectiveness. Podcast call to action. We encourage you to do your own research on electoral bonds and to form your own opinion on their effectiveness. You can also share your thoughts and comments on this podcast on our social media channels.